Hello, everyone! Today we will learn what a Rosetta Stone is, how it is connected with the outlet, who found it, and what he gave us. The Rosetta Stone is a stone that people found by accident. The Rosetta Stone was found in 1799 during the Napoleonic expedition to Egypt. The Rosetta Stone contains a decree written in 196 BC, which was created by priests in honor of the coronation of Ptolemy V Epiphanes. Military engineers working on fortifications in the city of Rosetta, today's Rashid, discovered a large basalt fragment with inscriptions. A basalt fragment is a piece of basalt, which is a hard volcanic rock. Basalt is formed as a result of rapidly cooling lava on the Earth's surface. It is usually dark in color, from dark gray to black. Sometimes it can have a green or brown tint due to the presence of olivine or iron oxides. It has a high density and strength, which makes it resistant to erosion and wear. The strength and durability of this material have contributed to its preservation in good condition to this day, allowing scientists to use it to decipher ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. The stone had three versions of the same text: hieroglyphic, demotic, a late form of Egyptian writing, and Greek. Thanks to these three inscriptions, scientists were able to decipher ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, which were still unsolved at the time. The decoding of the Rosetta Stone was a significant scientific achievement. The main work on the stone was done by two scientists. Thomas Young was a prominent British scientist who made significant contributions to various fields of science, including physics, medicine, and linguistics. His work on the Rosetta Stone was one of the key steps in deciphering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Young became interested in the Rosetta Stone in 1814. At the time, most researchers were focused on the Greek text because it was clear. Young decided to study the Demotic text, which was less well known and more difficult to understand. Young began by analyzing the Demotic text, identifying individual signs and their correspondences in the Greek text. He found that some Demotic signs corresponded to Greek names such as Ptolemy and Alexander. This was an important step, as it made it possible to establish a connection between Demotic writing and well-known Greek names. Young made an important discovery when he realized that some Demotic signs had a phonetic meaning, i.e. they represented sounds rather than ideas or words. This was a significant step towards understanding that hieroglyphs could also have phonetic meaning, and not just be symbolic. Despite his important achievements, Young was not able to fully decipher the Demotic text. He made several mistakes in identifying the signs and their meanings. After the first successes in decoding, Young and Champollion began to correspond. This correspondence was not only a scientific exchange, but also encouraged a deeper understanding of hieroglyphics. Jean-François Champollion was a French linguist and Egyptologist who made a decisive contribution to the decipherment of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Since childhood, Champollion was fascinated by the languages and history of ancient civilizations. He studied Coptic, which is a late form of Egyptian, and this knowledge became an important tool in his research. In 1821, he began to study the Rosetta Stone in earnest. Champollion used the three texts of the Rosetta Stone, Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic, to find correspondences between them. He realized that all three texts contained the same meaning, which made it possible to compare the signs and words. Champollion discovered that the hieroglyphs circled by an oval, cartouche, represented the names of the pharaohs. This discovery allowed him to compare the Greek names of the pharaohs with their Egyptian counterparts. He used this to determine the sound values of hieroglyphs. In September of 1822, Champollion made a decisive breakthrough. He realized that the names of Ptolemy and Cleopatra, written in hieroglyphics, had a phonetic meaning. This confirmed his theory about the phonetic nature of hieroglyphs. He wrote a famous letter to his brother in which he described his discovery and exclaimed, "J'etiens l'affaire," meaning "I have understood it." This translation gave impetus to the development of various fields of work related to history. Thanks to the ability to read hieroglyphics, scientists have gained access to a huge amount of information about ancient Egyptian civilization, its history, religion, art, and everyday life. The study of the ancient Egyptian language helped to develop comparative linguistics and expanded knowledge about the development of writing and languages in the ancient world. Today, the Rosetta Stone is housed in the British Museum in London. The Rosetta Stone is on display in the Ancient Egypt and Sudan department. Although the main work on deciphering the hieroglyphs has been completed, scientists are using modern technologies such as 3D scanning and spectroscopy to study the details of the texts on the stone, as well as to investigate its physical and chemical properties. This allows for a better understanding of the stone's manufacturing methods and its historical context. The British Museum also makes digital resources, including high-quality images and detailed descriptions of the Rosetta Stone, available online. This allows people who are unable to visit the museum in person to learn about this important artifact. There is also currently a debate about the return of the Rosetta Stone to Egypt. Some Egyptian officials and cultural figures have called for the repatriation of the artifact, claiming that it is part of Egypt's national heritage. The British Museum has not yet agreed to these demands, believing that the stone is part of the world's cultural heritage and that its placement in London provides access to the widest possible audience. And now the most important thing. What exactly was written on this stone? I used the translation of the democratic test because it seemed to me to be the most understandable. In the 9th year of the reign of the young king, who received the kingdom from his father, the Lord of Crowns, the great Ptolemy, who lives forever and ever. The beloved Ptah, the god who loves the temple, the protector of men, the ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt, the son of the sun, Ptolemy, the beloved Ptah, the god who is the embodiment of Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris, the great king, Ptolemy. The general content describes the decision taken by the priests to honor Ptolemy, the fifth Epiphanes, for his charity towards the temples and his good deeds for the people. The text describes the gratitude to the king as well as the establishment of his divine status. The decree also states that it was to be engraved in 3 languages and installed in all the major temples of Egypt. The Rosetta Stone has become the key to deciphering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, which has made it possible to discover a wealth of knowledge about ancient Egypt.